Hi, Cozy Adventures. I got a box in the mail today and I was like, what is that? Because it didn't have any markings on it. I didn't know what it was. And it says, unlock your imagination. And what's inside is Kayali samples. And so I've smelled like a couple of Kayali. I have 10 milliliters of a couple of the cherry and the apple. Kayali too, and I got the pistachio too. When I was doing pistachio fragrances and cherry fragrances and apple fragrances. But there were a lot that I was still really curious about. And especially going into Scorpio season, I really want to know about the OUD ones. So I went to their website. I was looking in different places to get samples, but really their website I think is the best place to go. They do 1.5 milliliter samples of most, if not all, of their fragrances, and then they have an extra good deal on this little Oudgasm Discovery Layering Kit, and I think I'll have to open it to tell you which ones are included. That's the one thing I didn't do, is I didn't get other Oudgasm ones that weren't in this kit. I kind of wish I did, because it doesn't include the coffee one, the cafe one. It has Milky Musk Oud, Chocolate Oud, Rose Oud, and Vanilla Oud. So it'll be a good start. I'm still on the hunt for what I think is the Scorpio signature fragrance of the month, or a few of them. I know for me, I have loved mixing Lost Cherry with Baccarat Rouge 540 with some vanilla sex, and finding different versions and dupes of the different things and experimenting. So I was thinking of making that the Scorpio, but I feel like it maybe needs to be more oudy for Scorpio. So I'm not going to go through all of the samples right now, but I want to smell the ouds. So I guess I'll just go in the order that this is in. Milky Musk Oud. Oop, made a bad sound. Just give you first impressions. It smells really unisex, like really neutral. But yeah, I got that sweet warmth kind of oud. I like that one. Chocolate oud. I've heard that this one reminds people of what is it? That like really spicy one. Whoa. Angel Share. Reminds people of Angel Share. And I definitely smell that in the opening, but I think the spice dies down and it shifts into a different kind of fragrance. I feel like that might be in the running for a good Scorpio. Or maybe I'll like pick a few of these. I really love Oud for, it's not Oud for Greatness, it's the Lattafa dupe, Oud for Glory. Is that the one? It's the one in the black bottle, the Badial Oud in the black bottle, and it has a little bit Baccarat-y smell, plus this really depthful sweet oud, yeah, and the saffron. But it seems that I'm allergic to Lattafa fragrances. Both Dua and Lattafa, and like a lot of Middle Eastern fragrances, have such huge wide variety of awesome fragrances and dupes to try, and I consistently get sore throats and runny noses and sinus problems with those. So I'm trying to find options that aren't I know this is a Middle Eastern one too, but it's crafted for more of a American audience, I think, and maybe has different rules on it as far as like what is used in the additives and the recipes for it. I don't think I have the same reaction with Kayali as I do many of the other Middle Eastern ones that I love the smell of, a lot of them, and yeah, have this reaction too. So I'm shifting back to a more sort of designer focused stuff that is in Sephora focused. Yeah, things that I maybe won't have that reaction to. Yeah, the spice is already calming down on this. Yum. Rose oud. Rose oud. Rose oud. Ooh, super rosy immediately. Ooh. It like stings my eyes. I need to I'm so hypersensitive. It's really funny that I decided to start exploring fragrances because I am very sensitive to chemicals and all kinds of things. I always was, but with my chronic illness, I have mast cell activation syndrome, and my body overreacts to so many different things, even more than it ever did. Well, I think once that dies down, I also really like that. I find that super intriguing. There's something so far. I can see how it's sort of like a beginner's oud, friendly kind of oud in these, because they're intriguing, they're kind of depthful, but they don't have that like super deep base that I'm looking for. And then some of them do go into that. I didn't understand what it was at first when people said it was barnyard or fecal oud, but recently I have discovered what that smells like. And then there's some that smell like really strong rubbery. For me, some of the ones that I actually really like go back and forth with my senses, where it'll smell kind of a little too rubbery, but then it'll shift back into being something that seems really sexy and dark and interesting to me. So I was watching somebody's video about this season, about like Halloween fragrance recommendations, and whoever it was saying that there's this sweetness of decay. Like there's a certain sweetness, there's like a sickly sweetness of the decay of like, he was talking about like bodies. Because he was in the Halloween mode, but like decaying leaves, like there is this sort of like when fruit gets overripe right before it like gets actually moldy, but it's starting to decay, how it gets like kind of extra sweet. So there's something around that sort of like when things get deepened and darkened, but also really sweet, that is the kind of oud that I like, and also that makes sense to correspond with Scorpio. Okay, one more, vanilla oud. Let's do it. I know this is the one that's the most appealing to a lot of people. Oh. Needs a second to air out. Yeah, the oud is pretty subtle, but interesting. I like these. Now that it's been sitting on my skin a little bit longer, I just wanted to give maybe a little bit better description of each of these. So milky musk oud, the notes that it lists are pink pepper, strawberry cream, which is so interesting. I don't think I would ever guess that. Incense, suede santal, white musk, and silver oud. I mean, now that I know strawberry cream, I can, use my imagination and kind of smell it. And I'd be curious to see, like, if you layered with EOS strawberry lotion, which I don't have yet, but I know it smells so good. I've smelled it in store. It would probably bring out the strawberry in this and be an interesting, yummy thing. But yeah, it's not very sweet. The oud in it to me is the like more rubbery kind of oud. This is silver oud, whatever that means. Maybe it's a metallic oud. And yeah, there is something like very vaguely milky, but it's very lightly milky and peppery. Yeah, it feels kind of neutral to me. Like, I don't love it, I don't hate it, but it's interesting. It might be the kind of thing that could grow on you. Yeah, so chocolate oud, caramel apple spiced rum, velvet orris, incense, dark cocoa, chocolate oud. And I, like a lot of people who I saw talking about it, don't really smell chocolate in it. Like, I kind of can use my imagination to imagine a deep dark, not like a milk chocolate at all, like a dark cocoa being like some layer of it, or a cocoa musk, like the choco musk kind of cocoa that doesn't smell that chocolatey to me. When you first spray it, it does have a little bit of that angel share vibe, but for me, that evaporated pretty quickly. And it leaves a softer, sweet, but not like super sweet, incensey, dark cocoa, not hot chocolatey, but dark cocoa. You can kind of still smell the rum. Interesting melange. And then rose oud. This one, both the rose is really strong and the oud is quite strong for my nose. So these other two were kind of subtle, and this one's like pow with the rose. Like, it's a very bright rose. This is, oh, it's probably because it has lemon and geranium in it. So those like add more tartness to the rose. But it does have some vanilla in it too, and some cashmere wood, kind of grounding it and softening it a bit. And it feels like two things. It feels like the rose, and it feels like a kind of hard oud too. And then the like vanilla and the cashmere are kind of softening in between the two textures. But I like it. I don't know if it'll be something I wear much, but I know this is like super common Middle Eastern kind of scent. And I do like it. But yeah, I don't usually wear very strong floral smells in general. Like, if there's a floral, it's usually like in a kind of deep layer of the scent, not a like floral forward. And this is super rose forward. And then vanilla oud. It's got saffron. I think it's so much more subtle than these other ones that the other ones kind of blast my smeller and then I can't smell it that well. Oh, it's got saffron and oak moss, so it might have like a little bit of the baccarat vibe that I love. And jasmine, saffron, and oak moss. Okay, so I'll have to try that like on its own and really explore it. I know a lot of people love it. My first impression is that it smells kind of sweet and nothing sticks out. It smells subtle, but yeah, I think I need to spray more of it and to really like try it out and do it on its own so my nose isn't confused by how many different things I have going on in my arms. So those are my first impressions, or my second impressions, of the Oudgasm Discovery Layering Kit by Creole, which is so cute. So I recommend getting that for yourselves to do your cozy adventures with. Hi, Cozy Adventures. So I just wanted to update you on the dry down of the Kayali Oudgasm Discovery Layering Kit, because I ended up having different opinions than probably I started out with these. So Milky Musk Oud ended up being the one that I probably liked the most, but I didn't even like it that much. It had interesting things going on with the strawberry cream, that it's hard to identify as strawberry cream, but then a sort of rubbery, metallic-y kind of oud. So it had interesting things going on, but still in a pretty mild package, like not knocking your socks off with any of the notes, or a palatable package, I guess. Yeah, I guess I found it the most interesting, but still not that good. Not that, it didn't grab me. It didn't make me want to keep sniffing it, you know? It also has some, oh, I'm tired. It's the end of my day. It also had some incense in the dry down, and incense for me, I like it if it's like a layer deep in a blend of something that can't really be pulled out individually. But when there's an incense note that I really smell and that I'm left with, I don't really like that. I don't like, it makes me feel like it's like I'm in a space that like had a lot of incense and smoke in it, and it just kind of is left there on all the blankets and the furniture and stuff. Like, it just reminds me of that kind of smell, which I don't really like, that kind of heavy incensey smell. And it's not a strong one in that one, but it's still there and not my favorite. And the chocolate oud really dried down as incensey to me. It had this dusty incensey smell, so I'm not really a fan of that one either. And the rose oud was just so strong. Like, both the rose and the oud were like pow, pow, pow. So, and kind of gave me a headache. So stayed strong, too strong for me in the floral and the oud ways. And the Milky Musk, no, I did the Milky Musk already. The vanilla oud, it actually had a freshness that surprised me, and I'm not actually a fan of freshness a lot of the time in perfume. What's called freshness, which is often, to me, feels like it's like a bleachy, soapy kind of thing. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's doesn't smell like a cleaning product or soap, which is a cleaning product. Sometimes the freshness is actually a sort of juicy freshness, or sea salty freshness or something like that. But the kind that smells sort of like detergent in any sort of way usually is just not my favorite. So that surprised me, because I don't think there's anything, it must be the white musk. And actually the oak moss too was like more mossy than any other oak moss I've experienced so far, which probably means it's good ingredients. Like, it actually kind of smelled more mossy, but like, that's not my fave to be wearing. So I find vanilla oud and Milky Musk oud to me the most interesting to me and the most wearable to me. And then the chocolate oud, it just dries down to dusty incensey, and the rose oud is too bright and loud and headache inducing for me. So, and I really wish I got the cafe oud, the oud cafe one, because they're all just turning out to be not necessarily what I would have guessed. So I'm really curious, because I know that that one is more heavily debated, and I wonder, but like, people love the vanilla one and the Milky Musk one, and yeah, I don't have that instant love for the vanilla one. So I wonder if the Cafe Oud one would like hit my, like strike my fancy. And I feel like I might have smelled it in store and really liked it. There was one of the ouds I think that I smelled in store that I liked. So I'm hoping that it is actually in the store and I can smell it that way and see if it's the Kayali Oud for me. I also wanted to put on some of the wedding santal, silk santal for some reason. Like I was just feeling attracted to it, and that I really love. So I definitely, for me, Kayali is a little bit hit or miss, largely because of that freshness that's maybe in the musks. And so it adds this like kind of soapy thing that I just don't like in perfume. But then it also has some big hits for me. So that's my report on that. And then I'm gonna come back tomorrow or the next day and do a whole oud exploration of all the ouds that I have so far. And that'll be my sort of weekly deep dive. While we're here, I wanted to go through a few empties or almost empties, just to share with you the kind of the products that I use the most probably. And yeah, clear them out, use them up and clear them out. So this is Pacifica Island Vanilla Body Wash, and I think my skin actually didn't like it that much as a body wash. I just have like super duper duper sensitive skin, and different areas of my skin react differently to different products. But I shifted it to hand wash and it's perfect, and it's vanilla, lavender, and white tea, but the notes do not stick out a lot. The lavender is a sweet, soft lavender that doesn't even really stick out as lavender that much. Like I forgot it was even in there. So it's kind of I like that. I like when there's not like these obvious notes and it just makes a warm, sweet scent. That is all one thing. So I recommend, I'm almost out, and I'm gonna be a good girl and not buy more until I get through some other bath products in the next couple of months. I have a lot of pepperminty stuff. I'll be doing peppermint later this month. Bath products and perfume. This is a full one because I finished the other one and threw it away. So I just went through a bottle of the vanilla cashmere, and that's one where like when I first used it, it did irritate my skin a little bit, but then my skin got used to it and my nose got used to it. It smelled really strong to me at first, and now it's a comforting smell. For some reason, some people say it smells like vanilla frosting and just totally vanilla. To me, it smells a lot more caramelized, like caramely. But I like it, and I have, it's become a really comforting bedside kind of lotion for me to put on my hands and smell and go to sleep. And this is a Vino. I've been using it for at least 20 years. It's the lotion that I found that I wasn't bothered by the smell of. My skin was never bothered by it, and my skin still likes it. So it's not like super thick, so the EOS is better, or like even some other EOS one that's the I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a thicker body cream, is better for the really dry areas. But this is a great everyday sensitive skin kind of lotion without an upsetting smell. The smell of it is like a little bit OUD, I guess, like vaguely OUD, but pretty neutral. And so I still like that, and I need to remember to keep this around and keep using it and give myself a break from all the scented products and perfumes every so often. And this I've also been using for probably over 20 years. Kiss My Face hand soap, but I use it on my face. So it's my daily face wash. Basically is this. It's just soothing, and yeah, I use just a little bit of it and it suds up, and yeah, it just doesn't dry out my face, and Smells good. This is the coconut. There used to be a lot of different flavors of it, but I think there's not so much available anymore. And this might even be like an old school kind of packaging for it that I'm still getting when I order on Amazon, but I think there's like a new packaging and maybe new formula, so I'm getting the older formula while I can because my skin likes it so much. And probably, like I said with a couple of the other products, my skin like gets used to things sometimes. Like it'll get upset at first with a new product and then I'll get used to it. So, you know, if I stop being able to get this, I'm sure I will find something that my skin gets used to. The Brazilian Bum Bum Cream by Sol de Janeiro, the Cheirosa 62, is that the one it is? Yeah. It's really easy to go through this really quickly. But I got it before my vacation to LA, my little short weekend away, and it just gives me like vacation-y vibes and summery vibes. So it might be a scent I return to if I'm ever going anywhere tropical or to bring summer vibes when I want. So I appreciated that one. And then this shampoo, Malibu Hard Water Wellness. I live somewhere where I'm right in town, in a small town, so it's not well water, but it's got a lot of minerals in the water and it kind of coats your hair. And I had such problems, and I still kind of have problems with my hair since I moved to this area, because I was used to like actually just really well treated city water, like big city water. And here I lived one place where the water was like a salt water, and another place where the water was so sulfury that it smelled like rotten eggs. And then I moved here that has this limestone caves, and people call the water cave water. Here it just has like a little weird smell to it, and it not as extreme as the sulfur water, but basically I found a hairdresser who I explained my issues with and told me about this hard water wellness. And so you don't use it every day, use it like a couple times a week to get whatever has built up in your hair from the water. And it has a really nice smell too. It's just a light sweet citrus, like almost creamsicle-y, but less vanilla than a creamsicle. But yeah, similar to creamsicle. So if you love that smell and you happen to live with hard water, this is a good one. And then the last thing is that this is my first It's even decant that I've gone all the way through. There's still a tiny bit left because I haven't wanted to get rid of it. Even though I have a Bianco latte, I still don't fully, that I bought from someone on Mercari, I don't fully believe it's real, and I know this is the real thing. And so I'm like not wanting to get rid of it. So I'm just putting little like specks of it. Like I'll open the top and use the bottom thing to like put a little perfume on it. And so Bianco latte is actually so strong that works just fine to still get a little scent bubble going for bed. But I'm gonna finish it up. I'll probably finish it up this week. And you know, if I realize that the other one I have just is not actually Bianco latte and not cutting it, then I can just order more from this decanter from Scent Split, because I know it's real. And that's it for now. Hi Cozy Adventures. I'm back to do my OUD exploration, continuing to move into Scorpio season and the depthful sweetness of decay that OUD represents, or it actually is. It's like a decayed wood that makes this rich, sweet, or rubbery, or sometimes fecal Oud. There's all these different kinds of ouds, but I like the sweet Death Bowl. And sometimes it's like both, it's sweet and it's kind of rubbery, or it's sweet and it's kind of stinky animalic. So I have two that I know I love, and then a lot that I not for me so far. So the ones that I love, let's start with those. It would be Oud for Glory, the Body Oud in the black bottle. Is that this? Yep. Body Oud for Glory, Lattafa. This one is oud that has a touch of Baccarat rouginess for people that associate everything that has a certain kind of sweetness plus a certain kind of saffroniness. And maybe there's oak moss in it too. It's not a super sweet perfume overtly, but the kind of oud it is, to me, to my nose, is sweet. So I hear people talking about it and saying it doesn't have sweetness, but to me it's actually nice and sweet. It also has the element of Baccarat Rouge 540 and the Gucci Pour Homme 2003 perfume that I loved, and the other perfumes related to that. It has a little bit of sexy soda smell, like a sexy root beer, a sexy cola, because it has kind of a mix of resinous stuff and sweetness. So, because like colas were actually a mix of different roots and sweet smells that ended up being that smell. And same with root beer, birch beer, right? It's birch tree. So I will start now with this one. So just to be able to compare the other ouds, I don't want to put, there's some of them that I know I don't want to put on my skin because they just really didn't agree with me. But otherwise I'll do little dabs of these things. So Oud for Glory, Badial Oud, Lattafa Oud for Glory. I do have a sinus reaction to a lot of Lattafa perfumes. I don't know if it's certain additives or just that it's really strong formulations usually, which a lot of people love. They're so much stronger than a lot of the perfumes that they may be duping, but whatever's making them stronger makes me get a sore throat and runny nose. So I have to, like, once I spray it, like shake my hand for a bit and let the fumes fumigate, and then I can smell it. Yeah, it has that sexy dark root beer in the forest. Yeah, I think this is a really good Scorpio oud because it's got a sweetness and a smoothness, not sweet like candy, but sweet like resin, like tree resins and stuff, and that sweet decaying oud. And spices, but it's also got a little bit of what can smell rubbery. For some reason it doesn't bother me in this. Like the blend of this for me is really smooth, and I really like it, and it lasts for a really long time. Like you are gonna just keep smelling like it if you don't wash it off for quite a while, and your clothes really are too. But you don't need much. Like, use one spray, use just a couple sprays, and you're good with that one. So I have a tiny little sample of Oud for Greatness, which Oud for Glory is said to be an inspired version of. And I think that I actually like Oud for Glory more, but let me put a little bit of greatness on there. Yeah, greatness has a little more freshness to it. I don't have the notes out, so I'm not sure what it is. Like maybe there's some bergamot. And I prefer Glory. My second oud that I have a sample of that I really dig is Eternal Oud. It veers a little bit on the masculine side, but you know, my favorite perfume ever is Gucci Pour Homme 2003. So I like a sort of masculine perfume recipe as long as it's really smooth and sweet. And I think that's what we get with this one. Let's see. I have a little cut in my arm. I didn't want to put the perfume right there. I've realized I do better if I just dab on with the bottom of the sprayer thing rather than spray it, because then it gets less in the air and I get less allergic. I'm waving my arm around to let the alcohol or whatever the propellants are in it fade. It's so good. This one definitely has more vanilla to it. I think it might have a tree on it that is involved in making Madagascar vanilla on the, like, what the bottle looks like. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It continues on with being a little bit like a sexy soda. More on the birch beer, veering into cream soda because of the vanilla. But you know how there's a little bit of like bitter depthfulness to sodas when they're not super sweet, syrupy? Imagine I only drink diet soda, so it's not a syrupy sweetness that I'm talking about. I can't remember the way this one dries down. It might dry down a little bit more on the like men's cologne smell that I don't like. I can't remember, so I'll update you. If it stays like this smooth and sweet, then it's definitely in the running with it. I think Glory I love because it does have that sexy Baccarat rouginess that I don't know what it is exactly that I find so sexy about it. But when I smell a bunch of different perfumes and I pull one out that smells good to me, it's usually one that people comment has a Baccarat Rouge element to it. So that's sexier to me. But this is like intoxicating. So yeah, Eternal Oud by Lattafa and Oud for Glory by Lattafa are definitely my Oud winners so far. And the rest of them, I think I have more complex feelings about. I did a whole little series of videos about the Kayali samples that I had yesterday, so check out that one if you want to hear about those. Basically, I didn't really love any of those ones either, but they were interesting, and I'm getting to know and understand what I like in a oud and what I don't. So I got this from somebody on a Mancera sample set from somebody on Mercari, and then also got a couple other samples besides that are Mercari. And the one that is the most interesting for me, I think, like has potential, is vanilla, Oud Vanille, or Vanille. I should stop saying vanilla. I know how to say it. Oud vanille. But if I'm remembering right, it has a loud oud. Like the two Lattafa fragrances that I just went over, the Oud for Glory and the Eternal Oud, are smooth. And I sense them as this very smooth, harmonious smell. This has like vanilla and then pow oud. And I think the oud even had like an animalic, like stinky, rotting, bad rotting smell to me. But I'm gonna, I don't want to, but I'm gonna spray it a little bit to test. Let's see. I'll put it on my hand. Ugh, a lot came out. Okay, I'm gonna dab some of it off. Immediately, it doesn't upset me. But I think it grows. I think it's one of those that like gets louder and louder as it heats up on your skin. Yeah, it has the rubbery kind of oud so strongly that it kind of gives me an instant, like a little bit of a headache starting to form. But I tried this with a layering with Cirque du Soleil, and it was actually really a fun combination. That like weird kind of dank, depthful oudy smell plus vanilla plus the like carnival smells was pretty intoxicating. You don't need this oud in particular to do that. Like you can play around with other ouds, but I guess I'll have to see if it gets stronger. Like right now, it's feeling okay. Maybe because I'm already in a like oudy world, an oudy scent world. So it's just not as strong as I remember it being. And I don't think I smell the stinkiness. Like I smell rubber, but I don't smell the animalic or like fecally thing that I felt like I smelled. Maybe it wasn't on that one. I think that one's maybe just a loud rubber. The rubber is like a tire, like a rubber tire. And I smell that in a lot of other fragrances that in a way that usually really bothers me, but in this one it doesn't bother me that much. It just is. I don't know if I'm doing a very good job explaining. Crazy for Oud, I didn't care for. I didn't hate it, but it has a fresher. I experienced it as a fresher version of Oud, and I can't remember what the actual Oud. Dang, I'm gonna have to spray it. Or maybe I'll spray it into a tissue. I'll spray it into a tissue. These ones, I can't take the tops off. They're like very secure. Yeah, this has like a freshness quality that I don't like so much. I smell rose right away. And I bet I'll find a rose oud eventually that I like. But I think so far it kind of like overwhelms, like really overwhelms my nose and my sinuses. Oh yeah, bergamot. Okay, so top notes include oud, leather, and bergamot. That's all very intense for me. And then it has Bulgarian rose and violet and patchouli. Oh, violet, that's probably the fresh, because violet usually comes off as soapy to me. So yeah, like not for me. It also has amber and oak moss. So I imagine for a lot of people though, because it smells like a lot of perfume and cologne smells like to me, this sort of like brighter, fresher smell that I don't like. I like it when things smell kind of like food or just identifiable things. That's not true. That's not the only way that I like things. I like things that usually aren't defined as fresh, I guess. Unless it's like grapefruit, and that's the freshness. I guess for freshness, I want it to be a foodie fresh. I'll stick with that. Huh. The Oud Vanille is, or Oud Vanille is growing on me. So maybe I actually like that one. We'll put that in the top few after. I don't like it, like, love it, but I like it, and it seems like good for layering for me with different things. Like I said, with Cirque du Soleil, it had this really cool Halloween-y vibe of having this dark, rubbery, rotting, sweet smell mixed with this like pretty rich vanilla smell. And it's not really vanilla like food, but it's not vanilla like floral either. It's kind of pure vanilla extracty vanilla, I would say. Does that make sense? Not sure. But to have that kind of intense smell, and then have the candied apple and cotton candy and caramel corn smell on the other side, smelled so Halloween-y to me, like this night, dark night, depthful, going through the streets, smelling decaying leaves and trees and dirt, and then also smelling candy and yeah, caramel corn and stuff at the same time. It was really good. So I will move on to the ones that I know that oh wait, no, there's one more. I think there's one that I haven't tried at all. So I'll do that now. Continuing on with my OUD deep dive for our cozy adventure today. I don't think I tried this one yet, or if I did, I don't really remember what it was like. This is Mancera's OUD Lemon Mint. And lots of times lemon, unless it's like a very particularly candied lemon or just deeply well blended, it smells detergent-y to me. So we might have that issue here. I'm gonna wipe up the excess because, yeah, detergent-y. Yeah, so someone who wants to smell fresh and detergent-y, ugh, I really don't like it. Although this is like immediately after spraying, I will check back in about how it settles. The OUD seems really well blended into it. I picture the man wearing this, because I picture it a man, as someone that I wouldn't really want to be around. Like someone at a gym who is also hanging out somewhere where there's tires and motor oil and harsh soaps like Irish Spring. I wonder what notes are actually in Irish Spring. Maybe it has lemon and mint similarly to this one, even though I wouldn't identify it that way. Yeah, it's not like, oh, that's disgusting, but it's also, I don't like it. Okay, the last two OUDs in my OUD deep dive today are two that I thought I would like that ended up being the ones that I dislike the most. So I thought I would like them from notes and from reviews that I saw. And yeah, I really didn't like it. The Amiral OUD Intense Oud by Lattafa. I don't understand it, but people review it as being like by the fireside, which is a like smoky chestnut toasted marshmallow smell. But then I heard someone else say something about fireside by a different brand, and maybe people are wrong that it's supposed to be like by the fireside and it's some other perfume that it's kind of duping, because it is like seriously oudy, and by the fireplace is not. A lot of people describe it, the oud, as like really mellow beginner's oud, well blended, easy to deal with, and not what sticks out to them. But to me, this is so oudy and it is stinky oud. Like, it really gave me my first experience of like, oh, this is stinky. I feel like I should put it on so I can talk about it better. I'm not going to put myself through that, but just know that even if you see a bunch of reviews saying that this is sweet and not very oudy, there are various people that smell a really quite dank, stank, skank oud in it, and I am one of them. So that is Amir Al Oud Intense Oud. I really wanted to like it. I was disappointed. And then the last one is, oh, this isn't it. What did I do with it? When I started my, oh, there we go. When I started my fragrance journey, I got a bunch of samples in these things, and it's hard to figure out what's in what. So this is the Badi Al Oud Amethyst, and by the notes I remember I thought that I'd really dig it. What are the notes? Let's see. I think it's a rose oud, and that's what the problem is, and for some reason my nose can't handle it. It doesn't register as like oud and rose. It registers as just this like really strong, like bright, headachy, and rubbery smell. Let's see. Badi Amethyst. It has, oh yeah, so it starts with bergamot and pink pepper and then rose. Yeah, I think I just can't handle the bergamot plus rose plus oud combo, and maybe I'll grow out of it, but that's where I'm at. But I'm curious because I haven't been back to it since I first smelled it and got grossed out by it. So I want to try it. Let me put it on a tissue. I think tissue actually is better than spraying on the little testers, because on the testers the spray actually goes everywhere and I breathe more of it in, and it's harder on my sensitivities. And if I put it in a tissue, it just kind of absorbs it. Okay, so now that I've smelled other versions of rose oud, it's not that bad. And it's been sitting for 2 months, so it's probably also gotten better because of that. I feel like I should put them on my skin, because I'm curious on skin if it'll be better for me than the what did I do yesterday? The Kayali Rosy Oud one. What was that one called? I have it right here. Yeah, just Rose Oud, the Kayali one. Because that was just like so strong for my nose, and same with the rosy ones from Mancera. Okay. I like this one better. It's still like hard on my nose, like that bergamot plus rose smell, but the oud smells pretty good. Maybe I'll keep it. I was definitely gonna give it away before, but maybe I'll keep it. Maybe I... See, I think that I kind of like it, but I don't think I would wear it still because it has the potential to give me headache. But I like it. So let it sit for a couple months after you spray it. The Buddy All Oud Amethyst, if it doesn't smell right to you right away, because it is way better than when I first got it. And that is my Depthful Oud exploration. I think I got all my ouds. I bet I have some other things that like happen to have oud in them but aren't as like obviously oud fragrances. But those are all of the ones that are like oudy oud smelling fragrances. And after that whole, ooh, what did I spray on this hand? Was it the vanilla? This one, the vanilla really developed. And so it starts out with the vanilla really strong and then this like rubbery oud that's strong. And then over time, it's almost like in between those two strong smells, the vanilla kind of like grows and connects to the oud and it starts smelling more blended. Ouds. Yeah, I think I still think that the most Scorpio one is the Oud for Glory. So that'll be on my list of best Scorpio fragrances for sure. And I think that's all for this week. I hope you're well. I hope that if you're exploring ouds, this helps inform your decisions based on your taste. If you are someone that likes like a brighter, fresher, or really strong rose smell, then like some of the ones that I don't like, you probably would really like. The Amir Al Oud Intense Oud, like so many people really loved that one. So it might just be one that like, I feel like I gotta spray it. So I can explain the stank. Like, perfumes are so subjective. It's amazing that like one person can smell poop and the other person can smell like a smooth vanilla or something. I'm not smelling it as much on the tissue, but it also smells like too harsh to me too in other ways. So, but also maybe that one needs to sit. So I'll let it stay in my collection for a little bit, for a couple months, and I'll go back to it. Have a good week. I'm back. Cozy Adventures. I wanted to do a little bit of oud awards for my three favorite ouds so far. And I also wanted to tell you, if any of you notice, some weeks I look like I'm pretty healthy and some weeks I look pretty pale and maybe kind of older, like just my hair and my skin don't look as good. For me with my chronic illness, depending on, number one, depending on whether I'm getting good sleep or not, I kind of like instantly become like more, like my skin texture and hair texture just suffer very quickly when I don't get enough sleep. And this week I have not been getting enough sleep, largely because my dog got a haircut and she's cold. So she'll cry at night until I like, because she usually sleeps in her own bed, and the night she wakes me up a night or early in the morning, and I have a sweater on her and everything, but she needs, I'm getting her like a warming bed, and we'll figure something out maybe put an extra blanket in there on top of her and see if she'll let me put the blanket on top of her and sleep that way tonight. But anyway, it's almost like I've been someone that's been taking care of a little baby who won't sleep through the night the past few days, and so then all my symptoms get worse, and I just look and sound worse usually on those weeks. So, and I get sort of puffy and yeah, dried out, more wrinkly skin. So I know I didn't owe any of you who might be watching an explanation, but just to let you know where I am this week. But I still wanted to do my OUD exploration and my cozy adventuring. And the runner-up, the second runner-up OUD that I have is Mancera OUD Vanille. It's got a little bit ruder OUD at the beginning, a more like kind of pow in your face, less blended OUD, but then after like 20 minutes it becomes more blended with the strong vanilla in it, and is a fun and interesting scent. Second place is Eternal OUD by Lattafa, which is another vanilla-y OUD, but much better blended, I would say. Smoother, not better, smoother blended. And the number one is OUD for Glory by Lattafa, that also has a Baccarat Rouge smell. Yay! One more OUD. Mancera's Explicit Vanilla I have too. I forgot that this one has a strong OUD element. The top notes are Mexican vanilla and dark chocolate, and the middle notes are Cambodian oud and brown sugar. And then the base notes are tonka bean and amber and benzoin. When you first spray it, you definitely smell the Mexican vanilla and dark chocolate. And the dark chocolate plus the Mexican vanilla ends up smelling sort of like a coffee, like a milky sweet coffee drink to me. But then pretty quickly that becomes lesser what you're smelling, and the oud comes in. And the oud's a little bit bitter to my nose, maybe in comparison or like up against that like kind of warm powdery Mexican vanilla and dark chocolate coffee like smell to me. There's no coffee in it, but that's what it starts out smelling. And then yeah, then it really goes into the oud and woods in general. Oh, I think I forgot to say there's sandalwood and cedarwood in it too. So yeah, it goes really quickly from top notes to the middle notes. So you smell just at the very beginning this, you think it's gonna be like Cafe Amore that's just like a milky sweet, not milky like dairy, but like creamy sweet coffee drink smell to me. It smells like it's gonna be that, and then it goes very oud and wood. So it's an interesting mix. You know what, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the vanilla oud by Kayali, in that her oud smells like mossy, woody. Her vanilla oud smells like a mossy, woody version of that. Like I feel like I can really actually smell the moss in the woods, and it has a drier smell to it. Like definitely not a gourmandy vanilla. Yeah, so I feel like people who like that would really like this one too, the Explicit Vanilla. I find it intriguing. I'm not gonna get rid of it. It's not like one of my top favorites right away, but it's intriguing. I think that little bit of cocoa makes it a little more interesting to me than the Kayali one. And it doesn't have like the moss, it's a little less dirty. It's woodsy, but without the sort of mossy dirtiness that's a little more like dank in the Kayali one to me. But yeah, similar world. I feel like this is between those two. This is my preference. Okay, bye. I'm finally leaving. I'll see you next week. Hi, Cozy Adventures. I have one more oud to share for my oud deep dive this week with the ouds that I have so far. I got Bella Vita's honey oud, and I'm really hoping I like it. And maybe it'll be a contender for a Scorpio perfume. So I'm going through the Zodiac and I'm picking a few for each. Okay, just smelling it from the bottle, it smells like, it smells good. It smells like how I want an oud to smell, which is like really sweet and depthful with that unmistakable oud, but not in a way that sticks out, in a way that's sort of blended in a really smooth way. Okay, that's exciting. So it's definitely an oud fragrance, not a like sweet candy honey fragrance, but it smells really honeyed as well. Let's see. I'm gonna spray right there. Waiting for the fumes to die down. I like it, yay. Okay, when I stick my face right in it, it's definitely a lot stronger, but yeah, the basic DNA in a way is comparable to what's been my favorite, which is Oud for Glory, with a honeyed, the addition of it being honeyed. But it has a similar depthful sweetness, just more on the sweetness. When you smell up close, you can get a little bit of that sexy soda pop smell that I like. When people say things smell like cola or root beer, not like photorealistic, but have a little bit of that smell. To me, that usually means a mix of a bunch of different herbs and spices that are warming, and then a sweet element. And not herbs and spices like a cinnamon roll, but herbs and spices like, I mean, this could be a cinnamon roll. It'd be a really intense cinnamon roll. Yay! It is a win for a blind buy. Recommend honey oud. Good way to end my oud week. Hi, a little update for honey oud by Bella Vita as it dries down. On first sniff, I was comparing it to Oud for Glory, which is my current favorite oud, but as it stayed on my skin a little bit longer, it's really reminding me of Camera and Camera Ducan. It's like if Camera Ducan it's like a little bit milder and smoother than the Cameras. And then it has oud. I don't know if the Cameras secretly have a little oud in them. They don't list oud. Like the Ducan is the one that I would think might have a little bit. But yeah, it feels actually more Ducan, like Camera Ducan, like, with a little bit of Oud for Glory kind of oud. Oud for Glory, oud goes a little bit reverie, and this one doesn't. Like if I use my imagination, I can kind of smell the rubbery kind of oud, but really it's very, very smooth. And yeah, I'm really into it. It'll be interesting to see how long it lasts. And I'm excited that it might be a better option for me than the Cameras because of my sort of allergic reaction to Lattafas because they're so strong or because of certain additives they use. So I'm hoping that this ends up being a good substitute that'll be a little bit more wearable for me, even though I really will still want to wear the cameras because I really like them.